Hey there, Michael Griffiths here, founder of Referral Marketing Guru, and welcome to this week's Get More Referrals Today podcast. Today I want to talk about your networks, the people around you, the people who can be opening doors for you, creating opportunities for you, could be talking about you, could be right now creating new business for you. But at the same time, they could also be turning prospects away from you. They could be saying everything you don't want them to say. And that's the joys of humans. We don't get to control, to some extent, what they say. But in essence, we do. But the majority of business owners don't think about this in enough of a conscious way, and therefore they're shooting themselves in the foot. They're doing things that when they look back on it, they go, that's probably not what I should have done. So let's dive into how do you actually use your networks properly. There are three really big mistakes that even in the last week I see constantly. And it's ensured, A, I'd probably never speak positive about that person. I'm not going to ever go out of my way to speak negatively about people and ruin their business. But if someone was to ask me, I probably don't have too many positive things to say about that person. Certainly wouldn't ever help that person, and certainly won't be sending people that person. So how does this happen in your business? Is it actually happening more often than what you realize? And in fact, it's hurting your business, but you haven't put any conscious thinking around it, and therefore you probably aren't even aware of it. Let's dive into this. So your networks are made up of everyone within your social platforms, everyone within your CRM, everyone within your phone, everyone you've got a business card for, friends, family, colleagues, brothers, sisters, distributors, employees, contractors, clients, past clients, prospects. I think we get the picture. Everyone around you is part of your networks because everyone knows somebody else. It's the world we live in. And in today's world, it's probably even closer than ever before. People who I've never met over in the UK, over in Alaska, down in Antarctica, I can have conversations with. I can find them. The joys of social media and technology have brought us closer together. Before, being around your own little neighborhood, you had to be careful. You didn't want to annoy those people or say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing because those people could talk. Well, it's no longer now just around your little neighborhood. It's global. You think when something goes wrong, the backlash that usually occurs on social media within minutes. Bigger brands, products. People are constantly sharing photos, great food, great restaurant, bad service, horrible time. This was my experience, positive or negative. It's constant every single minute of the day. Well, in essence, when you look at that, that's just networks sharing to their networks. So what we need to do is we need to have an understanding of how do we put things in place to help influence this in a positive way. Now, sure, there are things that are going to happen, sometimes out of your control, sometimes you didn't mean it to happen, where you can't control what that person's going to do. It's generally a reflection on them. But 99% of the time, we definitely can influence, control, create a culture of how we want our networks to be. And it starts with how do you be? How are you? And how do you see this? See, to me, our networks, they're not networks, they're individuals, they're humans. And the joys of what I get to do and how we get to help our people, sure, we're around referrals and networks and partnerships, but it's more than that. It's about understanding human psychology, human biology, primal instincts, the way we think, how our brain's made up. See, when you do as much work as what I do around understanding that, and then you take that into referrals, networks, partnerships, marketing. See, we're all in this game of human relationships, of human marketing. You might be running Facebook ads or SEO, pay-per-click, or go to networking events or use radio or use TV. But if you don't understand human relationships and human marketing, you're missing out on really being great at this. And for most people, they don't. And in fact, probably the people you use for your marketing don't either. They're just copying the person who taught them. You see, you need to understand that everyone within your networks, they've got a brain wired for survival. They've got emotions that go up and down and up and down and up and down every second of the day. That they've got thousands of messages, half that they don't even realize, every minute being put in front of them. And they themselves only want one thing. What's best for them? Because that's our brain. It's wired that way. How do I survive? So when you utilize your networks, you need to understand all that they're just humans, that they are emotional, that they make decisions based on emotion, that there are different personality types, that they've all had different experiences so far in their life, and that has shaped their mindset and their behavior. Like, there's an awful lot that you actually have to realize. And the biggest thing you've got to realize is they're probably not like you. So just because you go about something one way doesn't mean that that's how they want to. So now let's just put that to the side. If you're going to get your networks, like, let's think of what we actually want to have happen here. We'd love our networks to talk about us. We'd love our networks to tag us into things. We'd love our networks to be able to say, oh, John's absolutely amazing at that. Let me introduce you to him. We'd love our networks to share. We've got upcoming, whatever we've got coming up. But why would your networks do that? Your networks do that based on the relationship you have with them. Let me take a prime example. Just before I jumped on to record this podcast, I got a notification on Facebook of a particular comment. So I went on and had a bit of a look, and that was fine. So then I just go back to the homepage, and here I've got somebody who's doing a comedy show in a couple of weeks' time. Good. Well, is that what they do? I'm not sure. I've actually never spoken to this person. In fact, I've never seen this person pop up ever before. So I had a bit of a look around. And they're doing comedy for the first time. They're a copywriting business, and they're stepping outside their comfort zone, and they're letting their networks know. Like, that's pretty cool. So I sent them a message, because that's what starts the relationship. Hey, Monica, hope you had a great Easter. I see you're doing a comedy show down in Melbourne. I'm going to share it around to our Melbourne people and hopefully get some people down there for you. Have a great week ahead. Now, how easy is that as a message? How easy is that at starting a relationship? Because let's look at what would happen as a flow-on effect. Now, I know this is going to happen. I'm already seven stepping stones down the track. I know Monica will see the message. Monica will look at my profile. Monica will reply to the message. And now there's another person in my network that we have started a relationship with, that they have the ability to talk about us if it arose. See, for most people, they grow their networks, but then they don't do anything with their networks. I'm going to pop through here 3 big mistakes around our networks. And the first one is we don't treat our networks as humans. We don't build relationships. We don't have conversations like you would have a conversation face-to-face. But I'll get into that in mistake number 2. There's no point having people in your networks if you're not going to talk to them, if you're not going to build relationships. It's not about you being able to pat your ego, stroke your ego and go, oh, I've got 10,000 people. Who cares? Honestly, we've worked out the number. If you have 72 active people in your networks, you would have more opportunities than what you could handle. You don't need thousands and thousands and thousands. What you need are active people who know you, like you, trust you, resonate with you, and therefore will talk about you. And if that's not them, they shouldn't be there. Like, that's your whole purpose of having networks, is simply to be able to create opportunities with one another. See, in today's mentality, so many people have jumped on and found one way to be able to do something and now think they're an absolute expert at it and they're going to teach everyone else. It's all about hunting. It's all about, let's grow our networks and who can you sell to and send spammy, crappy messages to. And I'm sure you get them also. And I just simply go, you just don't get it. You enjoy your moment in the sun, but if you really think your business is going to last more than 12 months, nah, it's always going to be hard because you don't understand it. Don't be that person with your networks. You might find 1 or 2% of the people that you connect with that do need your things, and that's great. So the other 98%, what do you do with them? Nothing. Don't talk. They could be opening doors. They could know people who need your things. They could be sharing you to their networks. This is where we talk about the transaction mindset of being a hunter versus what we create with our partnership club guys of being a transformational mindset, of being a farmer. And it's a completely different way of thinking. And you can't get that thinking unless you're around people who think like that. It's just plain and simple. It's not, I'll just listen to Michael's podcast and watch his YouTube videos and join him on his social media and I'll get that thinking. You're going to immerse yourself in that environment every single day. That's how you become transformational in your thinking. So mistake number 1 is you go and you meet people and you talk to people and then you just stop and you don't continue building relationships. Every single person you should be building relationships with. Now, there might be after you start the relationship where you just go, you know what? There's not a fit here. We're not aligned. We think differently. And that's fine. So now that person's no longer in your network. Sometimes that happens. There's no emotion attached to it. It is what it is. Mistake number 2 is how we communicate. If you've simply got hunter mentality and it's sell, 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 sell. And as I said, I'm sure you get these messages just as often as I do, where someone assumes you've already got the problem, assumes you want a solution, assumes that you want them to provide the solution. And you're someone who does this, let's just look at that. I don't know you, I don't like you, I don't trust you, I don't resonate with you, I don't know how good you are, you've invaded my space, you've taken up my time. Can you see all the negatives that are taking place in doing that? But more importantly, is that what you do if you were out and you met someone face to face? So this is the big mistake number 2, is for some reason behind our phone, behind our iPad, behind our computer, we think that we can talk differently versus how we would talk in real life. If you just met someone at a barbecue, out and about, at a networking event, at a charity luncheon, would you go up to that person, never met them before, and you just go, oh, hey, John, I can see your name badge there. We help people to blah, 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 and what we can do for you is X, Y, Z, and I think you should use us by doing A, B, C. Of course you wouldn't. John's likely to punch you in the face. But more importantly, what stops you from doing that in real life is your own fears and insecurities, more than likely. So why do that sitting behind a computer screen? It's not the right way to be able to do it. Remember, your networks are individual humans. Your networks are wired as humans for survival. Your networks put up this wall. Your networks probably have had a terrible experience with someone who's done that and gone, I know this type of person. I'm not going to let that happen to me ever again. So think about how you communicate and communicate effectively with your networks to build relationships, like how you would in real life. Mistake number 3 is around how you respond to your networks. Let me give you a couple examples. So I'm reaching out all the time to our networks. Hey, Lucy, just saw your face pop up. Hope you have a great week, because I just saw one of her social posts. I might send a text message. I might send a voice message on socials. I might send it as an email. Now, I'm not expecting a response. That's not why I'm doing it. But if you are going to respond, and you respond simply with a thumbs up, if it's a social message, to me, I look at that and just go, you know what? You're a moron. Because if you're going to respond, it takes just as much effort to put a thumbs up emoji as to go, thanks so much, you too. So as I said, responding or not responding is not the problem. It's how you respond if you're going to. And just simply go, is this helping my credibility or not? That's what it comes down to. Because when you take an action, you are either positively affecting your credibility or negatively in every action you take. I talked to Sophie about this. Sophie's my little one who's nearly 8 years old. Everything you do has a positive to it and a consequence to it. And now you've got to decide how you're going to do it and whether the consequence is positive or negative. I don't think we think about this enough, because the extra 5 seconds versus thumbs up to just simply go, thanks so much, you too, changes an awful lot. I'm likely to speak about that person who's taking the extra 5 seconds. I might then see something else they post and go, I'm going to share that to my networks. Where a thumbs up just goes, oh, I really can't be bothered and I'll just do something because that's what I thought I should do. Now, that's just my thinking. Someone else might be really excited they got a thumbs up. And that's the joys of humans. It's so different. But I think you've got to ask yourself just some simple little questions each time. How does this help my relationship with this person? And how does it help my credibility with this person? And I think if we're constantly asking those 2 questions, then in the end, you're going to use your networks more effectively. And if you start using your networks more effectively, you're going to start building your relationships with your networks more effectively. And therefore, better things are going to happen. Your networks are going to start talking about you. Your networks are going to start being able to promote you. Your networks are going to want to do things for you. I'm just going to finish up with this. As humans, we come from tribes. That's our primal instincts. We have this need for connection. Just understand, you're not speaking to just another person on your Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, CRM. You're not speaking to just another phone number. You're speaking to someone who's probably gone up and down in an array of emotions that day. You've got no idea what they've come across. You have no idea whether things are good or bad. And when you deal with your networks, it's about how do you deal with an emotional even keel. And not everyone's going to be the right fit to be in your networks, and that's okay. Associate yourself with the same sorts of people that you want to associate with. But don't just grow networks and do nothing with them. You've got such a powerful source at your fingertips when you use your networks effectively. Hopefully it's been super helpful. Love, if you're not part of our $1 Million Referral Network, come and join us. The link will be in the show notes wherever you happen to be listening to this. Make sure you subscribe. Every Monday morning, our Get More Referrals Today podcast is put up on YouTube, on our social platforms, on iTunes, on Podbean, on Google Play. So make sure you subscribe and never miss an episode of our Get More Referrals Today podcast. If you're wanting help to be able to grow your business, and to be honest, it's not about growing your business. It's about reaching your goals. If you want help to actually reach your goals, well, let's actually understand what they are first. And growing your business might be the vehicle to help you reach your goals. Partnership Club is a #1 movement for service providers who want to reach not only their goals, but make a bigger impact and leave a legacy. Our Referral Accelerator Hub, #1 home for service providers who want more referrals, use their networks more effectively, create partnerships to be able to grow their business. Reach out. Let's have a chat and see if we can help you. Till next time, take care. I'll speak to you real soon. See you later, all.